This can't be done.
Yes, it can. Just have to go deep enough.
Hey, welcome back to our channel. It's the Meta Watch Party. Today, we're getting into one of our favorite friends of the channel, Cash Jordan. What do we want to say about this video?
There's a lot that's been going down in New York City, and he's been keeping everybody abreast of it. So let's just see what this new chapter is. Probably has something to do with illegal immigrants, probably has something to do with cost of living being ridiculous.
Maybe New York City being soft on crime. The title is It Begins. Even dollar stores close over theft. Let's Meta Watch.
Let's.
On Wednesday, announcing it will close nearly 1,000 Family Dollar stores over the next few years as it battles macroeconomic concerns.
That was a rat. You saw it?
No.
Oh my gosh, they caught a mouse.
Dollar Tree on Wednesday announcing it will close nearly 1,000 Family Dollar stores over the next few years as it battles macroeconomic concerns.
Oh my gosh.
Theft. You know, that happens here in America's shoplifting capital more than anywhere else.
Yo, there's mad rats in New York. It's crazy.
They just casually catching them trying to get B-roll.
You know, New York is like, if there's one reason to leave New York amongst dozens,
millions of reasons.
It's the rats. Like, the rats are crazy out of control.
Now, was that a mouse or a rat?
That was a mouse or a baby rat, but either way, like, I don't want to see none of them joints, like, ever.
Broad daylight.
Yet they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even walk down the street.
You can't even go to Family Dollar.
Can't ride the train, can't do nothing. They're everywhere. It's out of control.
I know, there's whole blocks I won't even walk on because I saw a rat there one day.
It's nuts.
I just started walking in the middle of the street. I'm putting my life on the line, but I don't want to encounter a rat.
One ran right at me the other day. I literally had to
oh my gosh,
hurdle it like I was a track star.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it literally, like, if I didn't jump, it would have ran right over both my feet.
Ooh.
But theft is especially bad on discount stores like this one, which is why they're vanishing from New York City.
The growing problem with shoplifting. You've probably seen cases of merchandise, things like toothpaste and laundry detergent locked up behind glass at your favorite store. The problem getting so bad.
Once I had a whole sack like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Just full of presents.
I like how that lady, just a regular customer, like, hey, young man, why are you doing that? Out of my way.
There wasn't no police there to stop them.
Or they just stand at the door holding it open.
New York State is setting up a task force to tackle it.
Dollar Tree announcing they're going to close more than 10% of all Family Dollar locations. The discount retail giant says it is now raising its base price point to $1.50 and capping items at $7. The hashtag has 2.8 billion views on TikTok. Most are talking about what they're giving up in order to live right now.
I feel like it's like now you have to like minimize and say, you know what, I need this, I don't need this.
So nationwide chain Dollar Tree closing 1,000 of its stores. In New York, you've already got 1 out of every 3 people spending half their income on rent alone, forcing more people than ever to rely on the very stores that may soon close forever. Which is why you'd think city leaders would be more concerned with stopping shoplifting, but they aren't for some reason. Maybe they don't think it's a big deal.
You're fired. Get out of here.
If you find a store that's open, you'll see walls of glass locking up virtually everything, because the uncomfortable truth about New York City is that we'd rather lock up our products than our criminals. And now that discount stores are in trouble,
surely these closures will have any
now I'm just looking for mice to run across the floor.
Because that's where many of these dollar stores are located. But now Dollar Tree, which is the parent company of Family Dollar, says about 1,000 of those stores have to go in order to keep the company profitable and viable.
So why are they closing the stores? Well, they have to keep the company afloat, but people are going to get stuck paying more money for the same stuff. But as you're about to see, for many of these stores, closing might be the only option, as they've been struggling for years. Yet city leaders have been perfectly content to allow these places to languish under the costs of high rent and high crime for far too long.
The dollar store family chain stores have struggled in recent years with keeping stores fully stocked and clean.
Because the goal here is to sell low-cost items in a high-cost city where rents for stores this big are insane. And if rents are high, the store has to do with less employees because they've got to pay rent, which is why it's not easy to keep the shelves stocked. Plus, in New York, minimum wage is $16 an hour. When you combine that with high crime, which is why all the detergent has tags on it, you've got a recipe for disaster. On top of that, things are so bad, New York now has a $4.4 billion shoplifting black market where stolen items are brought to warehouses and then sold on online marketplaces like Facebook. And things are so out of control, you now have professional shoplifters. This is all they do.
We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now.
Dollar Tree is seeing a higher end demographic coming to their store. $125,000 demographic shopping at Dollar Tree more so than they were before.
I closed my eyes and I opened it when was that a replay or was that a second mouse?
This is a replay.
And was it a rat? It was bigger, way bigger.
To survive, but it's going to ultimately become as a place for its normal customer to find affordable stuff. Because think about it, if discount stores are seeing more customers with higher household incomes, perhaps what they can do is raise their prices, make more money every time they sell. But if they do that, the very people who rely on that for a long time are going to be in a bind because it's like the store doesn't exist anymore for them.
It's like I'm in the store, so I want to talk quietly. Voices of music.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier. I can't believe he's staying there so long after he saw that rat mouse.
According to this true cost of living report by United Way of New York City, costs have increased 131%, while the latest findings now show 50% of working age New Yorkers are struggling to cover costs.
So 50% of working age New Yorkers unable to cover their expenses without some sort of government assistance. That's tough. That's approximately 3 million people, a staggering figure. And the financial reality for many is that this is just a tough city that takes basically everything from you.
Bing bong.
Some people say that the city's soft on crime laws and soft on crime attitude might be contributing to poverty, not erasing it, which was the hope of a lot of these decriminalization efforts. And everything in the city just costs more and more and more.
Inflation is off the roof.
I'm feeling it most when it comes to rent.
I wish inflation would jump off the roof.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, groceries and electricity are up 25% since January.
These are just not really encouraging
Unalive
stories to
itself.
Yeah, I wish inflation would just jump off the roof and end itself.
Right, because if it jumps off the roof, then that means it goes down.
Yeah, down and doesn't come back.
Right.
Look at this, 30% of Gen Z shoppers prefer self-checkout just so they can shoplift. In a perfect world, self-checkout would benefit people who were in a rush and wanted to get out quickly. But in New York,
Got him. Got him.
Even 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven's supposed to be a place that has deals. But look, the apple fritters are even locked up. The drinks are all in locking cabinets as well. And the Ben & Jerry's ice cream pints are $9.99. That is absolutely crazy. And that's why even if a national chain like Dollar Tree manages to keep its New York City stores open, critics say theft, inflation, and the other costs associated with just being here are so high that it's an unsustainable ship these discount stores are on. What do you think about that? Is that true? Let me know. I appreciate you.
New York is just a mess.
Yeah.
It's like there's no saving it. It's over. People in this country keep voting against their own interests and then wonder why things are bad. That's the thing about New York, particularly, these like historically blue cities and states have the worst issues right now.
Yeah.
And it's the policies that are making them that way. And the people just keep supporting these policies because they're just like brainwashed NPCs that don't think for themselves.
Are you vaccinated? Yes, sir.
And they just go and vote Democrat down the line.
Right.
For their entire lives and wonder why their lives are bad.
Yeah. Because even with this issue of like theft, and the reason that it's so rampant right now is I think a lot of it has to do with the bail reform bill that they pushed, which a lot of people supported because on his face, it's like ending cash bail. I guess that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so on his face, it's like, oh, yeah, there are people who are not guilty of crimes, but they actually can't get out because they don't have the resources to. And so that makes sense, right? But there are also people who are detained because they are committing crimes, And so if you're going to like institute a policy where you like just end this type of detainment, then inadvertently or advertently, You're gonna like let out people who are actually a threat to society, which is what we're seeing in New York now, where it's like nobody is getting detained, and people voted for this. And so now you have both people who didn't do anything wrong, but also people who have done things wrong, and they're just out there just punching people in the face and smoking crack on the train and stealing from all the stores.
Yeah, it's true.
That's where we are now.
It's a mess.
And nobody's making it. They're still like, yeah, well, I don't know if I could vote for Trump. Like, wait, what are we even talking about?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous. Let's check out these comments. Breezy Gamer 92 says the sickening part of that local government is that local government sees this rampant shoplifting epidemic and still do nothing about it. Yeah. Exactly.
I think Hochul said they were gonna start up some kind of task force to address people doing, these like more orchestrated shoplifting, which I'm just like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't they already have those? Aren't those just cops? Like, I don't get it. They have to have special cops that do shoplifting stuff? What?
The cops aren't doing anything anymore. We went from the cops doing way too much, like stopping people for no reason, absolutely abusing people, stopping frisk, people minding their own business.
I saw a crazy one of those. Mm-hmm.
To this, where they're not doing anything at all. It's like, why can there be no happy medium? It should be simple.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly 77 says, lock up our products rather than our criminals, quote unquote. It should be New York's motto.
Yeah.
Definitely is.
And it's wild too, because I have actually been to one of these like CVS type stores where everything is locked up, and I had to have somebody come open up the product for me. And I'm very like ingredient conscious, so I want to read the ingredients, and it's uncomfortable to me to like have somebody standing right there while I'm comparing ingredients, I'm comparing prices. I need to think about it. I don't want to feel the pressure of having an attendant there waiting for me.
Right.
And I don't want to have to ask to look at everything. And then I don't want to have to feel like now I have to buy it because they came to open this case for me. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The shopping experience overall is just down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
E2MC2 says a rat scooting across the floor, disgusting. Where's public health?
As it battles macroeconomic.
There's nothing you can do about it. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere.
Ooh, we're fired up about rats. Let's see. Laylee Thomas 2829 says the government doing everything but solving the problems in New York City. I swear the criminals have more rights than the normal working class. Sad.
It's true. The illegal immigrants beat up the police and then get let out the next day. Like, what kind of system is that?
Yeah. Well, that's another conversation about rights and citizenship. Let's see. Carla Elaine 100 says, this is sickening. As someone who must shop at Dollar General because I'm now disabled and on a fixed income, I still see things at DG I want and cannot afford. That being said, I wouldn't steal them. Those who steal hike the prices for those who do not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, people shouldn't steal, but also people should be able to make a living wage. It's like everything's mad expensive. The cost of living in New York is ridiculous. And, people are not getting what they pay for. Like on the MTA. Everybody's hopping the MTA, and they should.
Yeah.
Because they're not getting what they pay for.
At all. Poor service, unsanitary conditions,
late schedules.
Yeah, like they're affecting people's ability to earn money.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Can't even sit down because there's bums sleeping on all the seats.
5 at a time. I saw that today.
Right? And it's like, I'm supposed to pay while I watch 10 bums not pay right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that make sense?
It doesn't. Kenim 7651. It's amazing how many stories have been put out over the last year talking about this type of crime, and yet not one city has said anything about addressing it. They have, however, said that companies are being greedy and racist for closing the stores. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Like, how is Walmart racist for being like, hey, we're losing so much money at our Chicago stores that we have to close them because shoplifting is rampant? What is racist about that?
Right, they're like quietly saying that the people that are shoplifting are so-called black people.
But they're not quietly saying that. They're saying, hey, we're not making any money because shoplifting is rampant at this location. I don't think it would matter what color the people were. If they can't make money by having a store there, then they have to close. That's just a business principle. Why should they stay open and
just let people steal?
Yeah,
and
go into bankruptcy.
If the people that are stealing are so-called black people, then it is what it is.
Racism is power plus prejudice. What's the prejudice?
And it's not, racism is power plus prejudice. It's not accurately describing what's happening.
Exactly. It's not, yeah, just being an observer of reality.
That's an accurate description of what's happening, then that is what's happening.
Let's see. CMV weighed in on this topic. I wonder what he was referring to in the video, which says, as a black man, I've always felt that culture is the problem, not racism. Yeah, I mean, right now, New York City has a culture of criminality
and filth.
Yeah, I don't think it's limited to any one ethnic group.
Right, and that's the thing. This is not like so-called black people's culture. This is a culture of poverty and people being taken advantage of. Right, so it's like if everyone in the city is being taken advantage of because the rent is ridiculously high and nobody's making enough money, then those same people that are being taken advantage of are going to find ways to take advantage of other people and other things, i.e. stealing from stores.
Right.
i.e. jumping the turnstile. Like if the MTA is taking advantage of everybody by being late and by being filthy
and continuing to raise the fare.
Right, and by having bums everywhere, stinking and using drugs and taking up all the seats.
Shit on me.
Then people are going to take advantage by hopping the turnstile. That's how that works. If the MTA is going to take advantage of everybody by like implementing congestion prices and forcing everybody on the train, even though people don't want to take the train, then people are going to take advantage by going through the emergency door and not paying.
It's open.
Well, so it's like they keep like, passing a buck, but really what they're doing is they're taking advantage of people. And so people need to take advantage of other people in order to survive. Stealing is bad, but I completely comprehend why this is happening.
Everybody's getting the squeeze. And Catherine Z, 9654, weighed in on this shoplifting epidemic. Years ago, a cousin of mine was stealing things from different places. One night, she had a brand new pair of shoes that she slipped off outside at the front door. The next morning, they were gone. She was so upset. I said, well, how does it feel? She quit stealing. Maybe we need to follow these criminals home and take a few things of theirs. Interesting.
That's the thing. Things of theirs are being taken.
Yeah.
By the city. And that's why they're stealing.
Right. Everybody's working multiple jobs just to pay rent.
Everybody's
rent
like,
is supposed to be less than 30% of your income, but
everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't steal, which is true. But what happens when you're being stolen from?
Yeah.
Then you start stealing too. The whole system is broken.
SD 5371 says they ain't stealing it for their family. They're going to sell it over Facebook or whatever. I think that's the common defense by liberals. I think AOC was saying like, oh, people are stealing so they can feed their families. And I think that is true in some instances. In other instances, though, people are, they're running whole businesses just of black market goods. I think it was mentioned in this video, the black market resale is billions of dollars of industry.
Yeah.
Some people are just running businesses off Dollar General products.
Yeah, that's because it's not expensive to like legitimately run a business because all the expenses are ridiculous. They're through the roof. And that's what people don't understand. Like this person here, Brenda Jefferson, says, just freaking despicable. No conscience, no morals, no education, no guidance, no proper upbringing. Absolutely appalling. I hate thieves, and those purchasing from thieves are no better. Full stop. But it's like everybody is pointing a finger at the shoplifting thieves. But what about the political thieves?
When when Michelle's mad.
Like, what about the people who can change this through policy, who are stealing money because they make mad bread? They're doing insider trading. They're making millions of dollars. They don't care because they don't shop at Dollar General. Everybody's so upset with these low-level thieves, but nobody cares about the high-level thieves? Where is the pointing the finger at those people? Everybody's so like,
or even like the corporate thieves.
That's what I'm saying. Like, these people are stealing from all of us. The banks, what about them stealing from us? What about them taking our taxes? What about that type of theft?
Right, or like buying goods from other countries because they can get them for dirt cheap, knowing that those people are doing slave labor to produce those items and then selling them here for thousands of % markup.
Exactly. What about making us pay for a toll every single time we cross the bridge, but never fixing the bridge? What about that kind of theft?
Yeah.
Right? And that's the stuff that trickles down. If people had more opportunity to keep their money, more opportunity to actually open a business and be able to have it sustained because the expenses are lower and because the people who are available to be consumers to those businesses have more disposable income to actually shop there and support, then people wouldn't be stealing. But people can't think beyond the fact that there's people stealing from Family Dollar. Cat 8295 said, it feels like every city is methodically declining. New York, LA, San Francisco, Vancouver, London, Paris. All of our governments seem to want Western cities to collapse. I don't know a single person that doesn't think their city isn't in free fall.
And Matthew Prince had a response. Says it's engineered. It's about the 90% majority of society and the 10% them earning over $500,000 a year.
Exactly.
This is the new survival of the fittest.
They're siphoning all the money, and then the ramifications are people at the bottom stealing. And they know that they're stealing, and they pulled all the police away, / told them that they can't do anything about it anyway. So what do they expect is going to happen?
Yeah. It sounds like this was predicted. Bass Pig says, and in 1957, a Russian philosopher known as Ayn Rand, I never knew how to say that, Ayn Rand wrote a book called Atlas Shrugged, in which she predicted this downfall of New York City. We are in the final chapter of that book. It was meant to be a warning, not an instruction manual. Oh, George Monet responded, no, we are here because of Ayn Rand's philosophy, not because we ignored it. In point of fact, the jungle was written and the FDA was established because the world was too much like the world those such as Ayn Rand wanted to bring about. A government which works for the good of the common man is not the problem. A government which is full of the corruption and ideology of any type works against the good of the common man and works for the private individual. And that is why Ayn Rand's philosophy fails. She wants to bring about a world which even more only exists for the few at the top, even though those people are not the ones who do the valuable work. Their interests stand perpendicular to the needs of humanity as a whole.
Thumbs up.
Yep.
Precisely.
Well, thanks for joining us on another Meta Watch Party, where you watched us watch Cash Jordan watch the decline of New York City and
in real time.
In rat time.
Gross. Shout out to Cash Jordan. I really like his videos.
Me too.
I'm very fond of his very particular camera shots.
Yes.
I think they're really good. Very engaging. I really like his work.
Yeah, so go give him a thumbs up just like we're about to do.
Bang.
And give us one, subscribe and share so we can just get mo meta, mo better. It's a Meta Watch Party.